Abandoned houses stood silently beneath the dim flickering police lights. Rainwater dripped slowly from the broken rooftop, each drop echoing hauntingly through the rotten hallway stained with blood and mud. Young footsteps fluttered weakly near the entrance while officers walked around carefully photographing the scene, collecting samples and whispering among themselves with exhausted faces. The entire place smelled horrifying, wet wood mixed with rust, blood and death lingering heavily in the suffocating air. Near the center of the hall, Lisa stood completely still, her hands resting against her waist while dark circles shadowed beneath her tired eyes. She looked drained. Not physically, but mentally, emotionally, like every murder scene was slowly eating pieces of her soul away. Her hair had become messy from running her fingers through it all night, and her coat hung loosely around her shoulders, soaked slightly from the rain outside. A body bag lay near the staircase where officers gestured slowly while another officer photographed deep blurry claw marks across the wooden floor. Lisa stared at those marks silently, her jaw tightening harder with every passing second. Another murder, another brutal scene, another clue intentionally left behind by the killer as if he wanted her to arrive late again and witness his work after everything already ended. Recover every CCTV footage from outside nearby, every single one, I don't care how damaged they are. She spoke coldly without looking away from the crime scene while rubbing her temple tightly. We already sent the hard drives to Cyber Team Lab, but most likely the footage will be corrupted again, just like previous scenes. He answered hesitantly while holding files tightly against his chest. Lisa closed her eyes for a few seconds, hearing that. A bitter laugh almost escaped her lips, like she swallowed it forcefully. Of course, it would be corrupted again. The killer always stayed 2 steps ahead of them. Funny, isn't it? She muttered quietly before finally turning toward the officer standing behind her. Every single time we reach here after everything ends, every single time footage disappears, witnesses disappears, evidence disappears, it's like he's standing somewhere watching this struggle and laughing. She continued tiredly while crossing her arms tightly against herself. The officers exchanged nervous glances, unable to answer her frustration. They had never seen Lisa this exhausted before. She used to be sharp, fearless, stubborn, but now even her eyes looked empty from constantly chasing shadows she could never catch. Ma'am, maybe you should go home and rest for tonight. You haven't slept properly in days, she said softly, stepping closer carefully. Rest, Lisa repeated quietly before letting out a humorless chuckle. While another body is lying in front of me, well, that psycho keeps killing people like us. She snapped suddenly, her voice echoing harshly through the abandoned house. Silence immediately filled the room. Nari lowered her head while Lisa clenched her jaw hard, realizing she lost her temper again. She inhaled deeply before slowly dragging her hands towards her exhausted face. Sorry, she whispered quietly after a few seconds while looking away, ashamed of her own frustration. She looked towards the shattered window, staring outside at the heavy rain pouring endlessly into the dark, empty street. Her reflection stared back faintly from the cracked glass, tired eyes, pale face, a moment slowly breaking beneath the shit she refused to admit. He's testing me now, she muttered quietly, almost to herself. At first he only called them, but now he leaves clues intentionally. He calls us, sends letters, make us arrive exactly on time to witness everything after it's too late. She continued softly while gripping the window frame tightly. Ma'am, do you really think he enjoys this game with police? He asked cautiously while approaching her slowly. Lisa stayed silent for a few moments before nodding quickly. No, not police, she replied quietly. Me. He stopped, targeting me now, she added while staring outside at the rain with hollow eyes. The officers froze slightly hearing that, because deep down they knew she was right. Every clue, every timing, every message, it all somehow revolved around Lisa personally now. Maybe he wants attention now. Maybe he wants attention now. Serial killers usually. No, Lisa interrupted immediately, shaking her head slowly. This isn't attention, Emma. This feels personal, she whispered while lowering her gaze towards the bloody claw marks on the floor again. her stomach twisted. Remember every murder scene she witnessed these past months. The shredded bodies, the blood, the screams. She arrived too late to stop. Every single victim connected somehow to that mysterious incident 12 years ago. But no matter how much she searched, the truth always slipped away from her fingers like smoke. Suddenly, another officer came running inside breathlessly, holding a small evidence bag carefully in his gloved hand. "Ma'am, we found this near the back exit," he said quickly while handing her the transparent bag. Lisa frowned slightly before taking it. Inside lay a black chest piece stained slightly with blood. Unnerved, her expression darkened instantly. Again, she muttered under her breath while clenching the bag tightly. "Again?" he asked confusedly. "Every recent find seems he loves chase pieces now," she explained quickly. Her dad was studying the blood stained red carefully. "It's like he's telling me this whole thing is some kind of game," she added bitterly. Thunder suddenly roared outside, making everyone flinch slightly. Lisa slowly lowered the evidence bag, her exhausted face hardly rose again despite the visible cracks beneath her composure. "Recover every gold camera within 10 kilometers," interrogated nearby residents. Again, check hospitals for suspicious dog bite injuries and send forensic team upstairs one more time. She adopted the right to put herself back into work mode again. "Yes, ma'am." Lisa remained standing alone near the broken window after the lift. Rain reflected against her tired eyes while the distant silence echoed softly outside. Slowly, she leaned her forehead against the cold glass, shutting her eyes tightly for a few seconds. "Just once," she whispered weakly beneath her breath. "Just once, let me flash you before someone dies." Her voice broke quickly when exhaustion completely swallowed her expression. But only the silence answered her from the darkness of the abandoned house.